3-2 Duke over Wake Forest. Eric Williams gets the first two for the Deacons. He has been on fire the last three ball games.
He has really been.
Randolph coming back from mononucleosis and getting a start. Dickey's getting stronger every game.
Well, they need him. I'll tell you, Williams has played unbelievable in the last three games. As you said, Mike, he's been dominating in the post.
Here's the way they'll start. Wake Forest with that more traditional lineup with Levy and Danilus along with Williams up front, Paul and Gray the guards, Ewing, Redick, Dockery the guards for Mike Krzyzewski, Randolph, and Shelden Williams up front for the Blue Devils.
Eric Williams right now second in the nation in field goal percentage. Number one is Bruce Brown from out of Hampton. Second in the nation, very effective. He really wants the ball now. In the past, he would drift. Now he really wants the ball in the lane. And he will have a tough task with Shelden Williams, the landlord.
Very much like Sean May at North Carolina, he has reshaped his body and his game. When he first came to Wake Forest, he was way out of condition, almost 330 pounds. Dockery with a travel.
Our Star Watch, Mike, features two outstanding guards. Daniel Ewing, who's so underrated, and Chris Paul, who really is a guy that likes the big game like he did against North Carolina. Struggled his last two, has 8 points in both games.
Danilus has range, missed his shot, but got his own rebound. Great, nice head fake to get through.
They are outstanding on the perimeter. Their guards can score. They have to make a commitment to play defense. You can't give up 101 and lose a game when you score 101 and then give up 102. It just can't happen.
Absolutely. Take a look at the standings, and it's Duke and North Carolina at the top with only one loss. Wake Forest with 2. And because we don't have that home-and-home schedule anymore, each time they play may be more meaningful in the course of tiebreakers at the end of the year. Ewing, offensive foul.
I think Duke early in the game is going to try to get some touches inside. As you look at Mike Krzyzewski, forget about any mention. Don't even mention his name with the Laker job. He told me before the game, I spoke to him at length. He said it's a non-story, Dick. He said, I'm perfectly content and happy where I'm at. So anybody out there, forget those crazy rumors.
I thought we did that before.
I know, it's black.
Gray guarded by Ewing. Dockery draws the assignment on Paul. Danilus against Shavlik. Randolph down the lane. Williams with a block. Boy, he's just an outstanding shot blocker, and he doesn't get in trouble with it anymore.
One of the premier shot blockers in America. Also ranks very high in rebounding.
Williams got away from Williams.
A lot of Williamses in the house tonight. You got Williams all over the place. Great post move, very assertive.
Duke by 2. And a foul as Eric Williams powers his way through. Skip Prosser needs one more victory for 250 in his career. He is 84 and 32 here at Wake Forest. That last foul was on Shavlik Randolph, his first. And every foul has meaning for Duke because they have no depth whatsoever. David McClure, a freshman who had significant minutes, has had to have knee surgery. He'll be gone for a couple of weeks. Mike Krzyzewski's just down to absolutely nobody left.
Especially he can't afford to lose Williams in a post. Shelden gets in foul trouble. It could be a long, long night.
Well, it could be a long night if anybody gets in foul trouble. He's got DeMarcus Nelson to bring off the bench and Lee Melchione. Realistically, that's about it. That's a travel.
Skip Prosser told me before the game, I thought it was a cute story. He said, you know how far we've come. He said, when I first arrived here, he said, our fans were running out taking pictures of the Duke players. He said, now they're here. They know we're on an equal basis.
Got a great sense of humor. Gray. Good defense by Gray Barrington anyway.
Gray making a medium-range jump shot. Has really struggled as of late shooting threes. His last 4 ACC games, he's 13 for 41. After starting in the first 3, 14 for 23.
Excellent ball movement by Duke. Shadlick Randolph couldn't finish it, though.
Got to go up strong there, Mike. You got to convert that.
Paul has it knocked away, out of bounds. A very crisp start for both of these ball clubs. Dick, you mentioned defense. That's something Duke does seemingly every night, but something that has let Wake Forest down. If they play defense and they rebound with the offensive tools that we have, I don't know that anybody's any better.
Well, you know, they're 2 possessions away as Danilus made that jumper off the glass of being 19-1. They lost the heartbreaker to Georgia Tech.
Right.
Ball had a layup at the end and a foul shot as you watch the score inside. What a big-time player he has been in a post, Williams. A foul shot by Downey after making 50 in a row as a team. He missed that at Florida State where they're 19-1. Take a look right here. Freeze. See how he gets great inside position? He gets the great angle. Everything in getting the ball to the post are angles. You got to get angles. He had a great angle. He is so much more confident down in the 3-second area.
Last 5 games for Shelden Williams. 20 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 3.5 blocked shots.
The one thing they don't do is communicate really well. Both he and, for example, Ewing are very quiet guys. That's why Coach K loves having the second half, the team in front of him, because he feels the bench helps them out with ball.
Whoa, what a shot over Melchione. Just froze him and then drilled it.
Ray's on fire. He's got one of those nights where he feels the rhythm.
And he is woofing at DeMarcus Nelson, who just checked in for Duke. He's telling him, freshman, that's how it's done. Redick, nice drive.
And that's where he's really improved. He's added another part to his game, another dimension, the driving game.
Paul fouled by Ewing. That's 2 on Ewing. What a start. Back in a minute. ACC Wednesday presented by Staples. We're tied at 12. A great start between number 6 and number 7. Doris Burke, the 3rd member of our crew. And Doris, there is a thin line between these teams.
Well, Mike, 2 teams so closely aligned in the polls, we wondered what separates them. When you think about them, both bring a powerful triumvirate with very familiar faces. But when you think about things against common opponents, diametric results. Versus Maryland, it was a romp for Wake in College Park, a shocking loss at home for Duke. In Tallahassee, Duke shoots lights out, Wake suffers overtime devastation. Both bring an element of fear in their particular venues. Dick, last night we saw an Illinois team with its own powerful trio. What separates these 2 teams tonight?
Well, you know, Illinois, to me, the separation from Illinois and these clubs is that they made a commitment defensively. And their 3 perimeter people are so unselfish, and they move the ball and get the ball into the hands of the right people to shoot it.
Both of these teams right now playing at the top of their game against each other. Both fired up for this. Williams against Williams. Paul, nice penetration, tough shot. Follow is good, and that was Chris Ellis seeing his first action.
They're starting to get some great bench play out of Strickland, Ellis. Downey, to me, is one of the roll aid specialists on my own roll aids team, gives instant relief.
Redick baseline, no. Levy, read thin, still clears the glass.
It's amazing that Paul leads the ACC. A lot of people would not be aware of this. The 3-point shooting.
He just doesn't take that many. He's only shot 57 all year.
He's 31 for 57, shooting 54%.
Ray got it to Levy.
Levy was one of those intangible guys. Solid in every area, contributes defensively, on the glass.
He added about 10 pounds in the offseason. To look at him, you wonder where he put it. Melchione, nice feed to Williams. Fouled from behind by Eric Williams, and that was really an unnecessary foul by the junior. He was not going to stop his counterpart from scoring there.
Well, tough team to double up. You're going to see the double up here, and he's going to find the open man. You're going to watch the double up, and there's the open guy coming right to the lane. They get the ball inside. Levy gets it, scores. Quick recognition off the double team.
Shelden Williams gets the role.
It's amazing how Duke has really maximized their big three stars, Ewing, Redick, and Williams, and then surrounded them with excellent role players. I'll tell you the key to Duke's season. The key to Duke's season and Mike Krzyzewski's team will be whether or not Shavlik Randolph develops the rest of the year and becomes a positive force on that baseline.
Well, I think he will, Dick, but also they've got to get back Reggie Moore, who's going to give them some presence inside, even though he's only 6'4", he's a tough kid.
Well, just be able to give him some minutes. Right. Athletically, he can do that.
And Mike Krzyzewski said today, this team is changing because Shavlik Randolph is back in there. Roles have to change, minutes have to change. Melchione, one of the guys being affected by it right now. Dockery, blocked by Williams.
Eric Williams has become such a dominant force. This conference has outstanding. That's an offensive pass.
Yes, it is.
Carl Hess right on.
Used his off arm to push off and was called for it.
Carl Hess was right on that. Chris wasn't going to get away with that. Could have got one right here. There's the push on Dockery. One thing about Wake, they see the jersey of Duke, they see the jersey of North Carolina, they play with such passion, and they really exert themselves on the defensive side.
Great fake by Melchione, who's been a tremendous outside shooter for this club.
Wide open. One thing they've done this year, Mike, Wake has allowed teams to make 158 threes against them. They got to really play better on a perimeter defensively. They should with guys like Paul and Craig.
Ellis, nice feed to Visser. That one spins out.
Visser gives them another guy off the bench that could give a rest to Eric Williams, where Shelden doesn't get that benefit.
Patrick Johnson is in for the first time for Duke, and he gets the feed from Redick. Brilliant pass from Redick.
A terrific look as he curled into the lane. He's become so much more multi-dimensional, hasn't he, J.J. Redick?
Boy, he has. I mean, when he first came in, he was a long-range shooter, and that was it. And look at Johnson, number 51, getting some valuable minutes. Melchione out to Dockery. They have numbers, but Dockery lost the ball. Now he'll go set it up.
Dockery from out of Chicago, tough defensive-minded kid.
Redick, he wanted that shot and then rims out on him.
Not a good shot. The reason he doesn't shoot a better percentage is because of his shot selection.
Paul lost it, got it back, tries to penetrate, and is fouled.
We talked about that last night in the studio, Jay Billis, and I talked about it in the game. Why Illinois succeeds, they understand shot selection.
Got a timeout on the court. Back in a moment.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Staples. That was easy.
It's the kind of game you've become used to in the ACC, but still a kind of game that is a privilege to see. Duke comes in 16-1, Wake Forest 17-3. Between them, they've lost 3 games in the ACC. North Carolina, the other front runner, they have lost 1.
Well, look at a great job being done at Virginia Tech and also at Miami. You see last night, Clemson, Oliver Liddell gets a great performance out of Sherrod Ford, who doesn't get much publicity, and they beat Maryland.
Gray is just on fire. Justin Gray with 9 first-half points.
And what amazing about it, he hasn't shot a 3. They're basically all medium-range shots.
I think he had 1.
He made 1 3, okay. You know better than I.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I think he had 1. And John Madry, our statistician on the phone. Ewing gives it up to Redick on that little curl. Now to Melchione. Got around Strickland. Williams offensive rebound, and then it bounced off his foot out of bounds.
You know, you think about the post players in this conference, Mike. Got made down in North Carolina. The kid Ford is outstanding down at Clemson, doesn't get publicity. And you have these two when you talk Williams and Williams. I think this year is going to be so tough to pick a National Player of the Year. Last year, Jameer Nelson was almost a lock, and he had Okafor. But this year, it's wide open. Wide open.
Downey comes off the bench in the backcourt for Prosser.
Bench gave him 28 points in their last game with 15 rebounds.
Ellis, nice offensive rebound. Downey for three. Won't go. Williams with a rebound for Duke.
Against Miami, they had to get a great play from their bench.
Melchione will try a three. Knocks it down. Melchione has a half dozen. And Duke has regained the lead.
He's been a pleasant surprise, giving him really quality minutes, using that range as a shooter.
Ellis got away from Williams. Williams recovered and blocked the shot.
The landlord says, don't bring it in here, baby. Don't bring it in the 3-second area.
And it's very physical between those two. Ellis tries to tip, and Strickland gets the follow.
Strickland has really become active off the bench. Had 13 points, 7 rebounds in their win over Miami. And Miami's threesome on the perimeter gave them lots of trouble. Diaz, Harrison, Height.
Oh, what a great 10 minutes of college basketball this has been.
A lot of intensity, a lot of emotion. Going into the post.
Williams was double teamed, steal by Wake. Here comes Downey. They left him alone, and Downey will try the three. Vesser couldn't keep it alive.
Downey was so big in their win over North Carolina. Came off the bench and hit some big threes.
Teron Downey, one of the most popular players on this team, because he lost his starting job, hasn't whined about it. Just does what he is asked to do. Redick left alone just inside the three-point line. Boy, did Strickland get up.
Strickland really active. Giving him good minutes off the bench, and that is a big plus.
Gray, what a move. Holy cow, what a move.
Other than the 1-3 he's made, he's really utilized the medium-range jump shot rather than just exclusively try to play on a perimeter.
Love this kid from the first time I saw him as a freshman when they broke his jaw, and he came back off of that injury and said, I don't care, go ahead and hit me. I'm going to score.
You wouldn't hit him, though.
No.
He moved into high school with Carmelo Anthony, former Syracuse.
Melchione short on the foul shot. Strickland with a rebound. Wake trying to get on a roll, and they can do it, too.
They're an offensive machine. They have so many weapons.
Ellis got that weird rotation on his shot and missed everything.
That's not like his daddy used to shoot it. Dale Ellis down at Tennessee, a big-time shooter. She looked like Coach K. Right there, splitting the gap. Look at him split the seam, the gap, get right into the 3-second area, pulls up, really under control. Early in his career, he would have taken the extra dribble with a charge.
Good point.
This is high screens. Teams have such a difficult time defending the high screen.
Williams against Williams.
But it must be me. He's a different player. He is a different player. You talk about a guy that's become a man in the post. My, he is something special.
You know, you hear coaches talk about, and teachers talk about that moment when the light bulb goes on. Well, it certainly went on for him.
He had 27 and 12 against Georgia Tech, 23 and 11 against Miami.
Redick, oh, pretty move.
He's got such variety now to his game.
J.J. Redick has 7.
Break down defensively by Duke. Lack of communication. Don't get back. That's really going to be disturbing to the coaching staff. Screaming Demons love it.
Wake on top, 28-23. Biggest lead.
Get a little edge in that 3-second area in the paint, 19-12.
Nelson works his way in against the double team. Saved it.
Nelson gives him like 5 rebounds a game. Not really a big kid, but very aggressive.
Williams and Wake with the lead.
Reese Davis with you in the studio. Check in on Villanova and UConn. This was a Big East barn burner right to the end. Charlie Villanueva, that was his only field goal of the game. UConn held on late, 81-76 the final there. Virginia Tech did it in football, do it in basketball. Go to Miami and beat the Hurricanes, and Providence puts it on, reeling Virginia by 21.
Boy, Virginia just struggling mightily right now.
Hard to believe that Peter Gillen, sometimes the change is good for everyone involved, that he'd be able to survive down there right now. He's a guy I thought was going to be an instant hit.
Absolutely.
I really did. Great personality, great mind of the game, success at Xavier, Providence.
Wake Forest is out rebounding Duke 2-1 at the beginning of this game. Shot clock violation is a turnover here, and with 7:01 to go first half. Deacons by 5, and I'll tell you what, Dick, they are playing with tremendous purpose and intensity tonight.
Well, they're playing on the defensive side, and that takes them up another level. Duke only allows 62 points a game.
Danilus after the screen. That's a foul on a three-point shooter. The foul is on Dockery, and Danilus will go to the line for 3.
He's had such tough luck in his career with all those injuries. Danilus, you don't want to foul out there. That's not a heady play by Dockery. You know, I was talking to you earlier about post play. I want to give a little shot to a kid that doesn't get much publicity, having a great year. Andrew Bogut from Utah. Ready for this? Averaging about 24 a game, 12 rebounds a game, leads the nation in field goal percentage, and the running Utes have won 13 in a row with their new coach, Mr. Giacoletti.
Well, if he keeps that up, he'll get some publicity.
Oh, he's going to get publicity. Bogut has absolutely been sensational.
You know, Danilus is one of those guys who has been asked not to score as much. They want him to play defense and rebound, so his numbers don't look as good as a lot of people have expected, but that's a key to winning championships, is having guys supplementing their own needs and wants.
Daniel Ewing with that big three from outside. You're right, Mike. You got to bring some toughness in. He brings a certain amount of toughness.
Speaking of tough, Williams against Williams. Strickland inside, cut off. Tried to dump it inside to Williams.
Both guys trying to stay out of foul trouble. It would be a disaster if Shelden ever got in foul trouble, because they don't have the bench strength that Wake has.
Ewing with a drive, got the basket, cut the lead back to 2. 5 points for Daniel Ewing. The lob ahead to Strickland, and Strickland had to hang on to the rim
to protect himself, really.
And I think one of the officials was going to call a technical, but then realized that he was really in jeopardy if he doesn't hang on to the rim.
You're allowed to grab it in terms of trying to help yourself, to protect yourself.
Oh, they gave him a technical. Now that's hard for me to understand.
Yeah, I thought that's a no-no. The book says if you're grabbing it to help yourself and protect yourself, it's a little...
No, I don't see how they can call that, Dick. They missed that one.
Let's see right here. See, he's worried about coming down, so he grabs it.
He's sideways. He was pushed from behind.
He's pushed. He's worried about falling.
No, that's not right.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Should have been no call there. You don't want to put this guy in the line. He missed 3 the other day.
He only hit 7 out of 10. It's unreal.
Most guys would celebrate if they hit 7 out of 10.
And it knocked him down from 95% to 93+.
Here comes Ewing now. Ewing's trying to climb up. Doesn't do it with intent, but he does make contact. And he's a little afraid to get hurt.
They just missed that one.
Well, you know,
tied at 30.
You and I miss some, so they're allowed to miss one.
Well, we miss a lot. No, this is a great crew. Jamie Lucky, Ray Tilly, and Paul Hess. 6:04 to go in the half. Tied at 30. Paul is back into Downey for 3.
Got it. Great 6-second pass. Going the opposite way from the help side.
Teron Downey with his first points.
Had a mismatch inside. Should have got the ball to Shelden.
Ewing.
Look at that hustle. Went all over the ball. A lot of hustle, scrapping, clawing.
Boy, nobody giving. I'll tell you, Paul and Ewing right in each other's face. And then Danilus and Melchione going after each other.
Come on, play basketball. You don't need all this. Play basketball, both teams.
And now Redick has to be restrained. Mike Krzyzewski's going to call his team over to calm him down. Skip Prosser's going to do the same thing. Tell you what, that ball attracts a crowd with these guys.
Look at this here. They're going to make you all mad and team that we're going after the ball. A little push by Danilus there. Unnecessary.
Tell you what, it's always nice to have at least one guy who isn't going to back down on this day.
Tell you, though, the refs did a great job jumping in there.
Yes, they did. They got right in the middle.
They were diving for that loose ball. I mean, these teams are going to get after it. A lot of intensity, a lot of emotion. Referees jump right in the middle. But Danilus really all fired up. They pull him away. Shelden Williams taking charge like the landlord right there.
Now they're taking a look at the replay of this.
Scrapping for the loose ball.
All right, now, Dick, why would they be looking at the replay of this to see if somebody threw a punch?
Basically, they're trying to see if any punches were thrown.
I don't think they're going to find any.
Well, they settled it. Let's get the play.
And, of course, if somebody does throw a punch, you'd be suspended for thrown out of this game and suspended for another. I still didn't see anything that would qualify as a punch.
Just a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
A lot of talking. A lot of running the mouth.
Well, there have been a few guys talking since the start of this ball game. You're going to have some guys, you know, in this situation.
You know, coaches always talk
just
about
a scrum.
Come on, it's a little scrummage, right? Coaches always talk about hustle, scrap, dive for the loose ball, and that's what they're doing. Then they try to be the macho man, and they want to run their mouth a little bit.
You know, I read an article the other day about fumbles in football and how many times when they're down on the ground like that, how many times the ball changes possession. You know, 3 or 4 times by the time they get them out of there. At least in basketball, you know, you're not going to be able to have so many guys covering it up.
They're trying to look for a punch right there, but I said, let's get the game on and breaking the rhythm up of a good basketball game. I personally think the monitors utilize too often. I think the monitors used so often that it just takes away from the rhythm of the game. Part of the game is a referee making a decision, making a judgment call, taking charge.
Tomorrow night, Throwdown Thursday on ESPN at 7 Eastern. Julius Hodge, the Wolfpack of NC State, will take on Shelden Williams in a blistering Tar Heel offense, #1 in the country. Don't miss this. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
North Carolina State, very dangerous and up and down team. I mean, they got to take charge and start playing basketball here, Mike. You got to really start to get the game going. I don't know what this big delay is all about.
We are being told that they are still checking to see if punches have been thrown. Chris Paul has been assessed a technical
You'll probably
foul,
have to go technical the other way,
so
too.
has Ewing.
Yeah, but you got to go the other way.
Simultaneous technical fouls. Those will also qualify as personals.
So they went to the monitor. You got a simultaneous technical foul, and then the game returns right where the interruption took place.
Well, that's 2 on Paul and 3 on Ewing.
That can be major now.
That's
the third
huge.
one on Ewing.
Simultaneous technical fouls.
Well, I don't know. I think you could have let that one go as well. Although I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure it doesn't get out of hand from here. So you can't really complain about that.
Simultaneous in that situation, we call that double foul like that. The game returns to the point of interruption, so the ball goes to Wake Forest.
Because of the alternate possession, both coaches will tell their kids to calm down, play ball. Williams squeals into the lane with the left hand. With the follow, and when somebody comes to help, it left Levy open.
Nobody blocked down on Levy, and Levy got an open lane to the goal.
35-30, Deacons.
Williams is so quick inside with that drop step. Trying to get a little two-man game here.
Redick guarded by Downey. Chadwick Randolph tripped a little bit as he came into the lane, and here comes Chris Paul. Paul to Williams. And Shelden Williams got back on defense to knock it away.
What a super pass by Chris Paul. Dropped it with his left hand, laid the dime right on target. Take a look how he changes from the right to the left hand. Now he goes to the left hand, drops it inside.
Isn't that pretty?
It's really pretty. Great vision, great feel. Quarterback. Skip Russell, I'm not worried about him scoring 8. As long as he delivers the win. That's the job of the quarterback. And that's why Brady's going to deliver the Super Bowl to the Patriots.
I think you're right.
He's got the Derek Jeter mentality.
Dick, I tell you, when I read the story about him scoring 61 points in his grandfather's honor, that was all I needed to know about Chris Paul.
Well, he's got great character. It's all about winning. He's about loyalty. Came here as a youngster, used to watch them practice.
37-30, a steal, and they give it right back. Dockery lost it on the way up. Melchione gets the offensive rebound and says, let's get that fresh 35 and set it up. Nelson, nice move down the left side of the lane. DeMarcus Nelson cuts it to 5.
Well, he had an injury earlier, a thumb injury. Nice drive to the goal. Was a big scorer on the high school level. Highly recruited. Out of California.
He was a great rebounder as well in high school.
Well, he's been about 5 a game here at the collegiate level.
Paul.
Always have a chance to win when you get guards as good as Paul.
Levy held by Melchione. That'll be 2 on Lee Melchione, and the foul starting to pile up for the Blue Devils. We've got 3:51 to go first half.
Reese Davis and Jay Billis coming up on the UPS halftime report. A great finish at Georgia Tech, and we'll tell you about a terrific record-setting night against an ACC team, and also trying to get some kind of read on Maryland. What's your read on the first half?
Wake Forest so efficient offensively. They need to keep going inside to Eric Williams. I think the only thing that's standing in Wake Forest's way of being right up there with Illinois is their defense. 46% field goal defense in ACC games. That's not good enough. They have got to improve in that area.
All right, guys, Wake by 5 with 3:51 to go. Levy goes to the free throw line, 1 and 1. Rolls off the front of the rim. Wake shooting 57%. Duke only 44 so far.
I agree with Jay, though. They got to improve on the defensive side, and now lost to Illinois. Illinois shot 55.9%. 36 for 68. They made 11 threes against Wake. We're up by 31, Doris, against them earlier this year.
Well, when you think about efficient offensive teams, you think about point guards. All season long, we followed the quality point guards in the ACC. Compare and contrast. Ewing with 5 points, 2 assists. That led to 4 points for Duke, for Duke. And Paul on the other side, guys, 4 points, 3 assists, leading to 9 more points. The 3 fouls, obviously, for Daniel Ewing will impact the rest of this half, guys, and into the early part of the second half.
And Duke likes to go with those 3 guards right now, and they can't do it with the 3 foul situation.
You know, J.J. Redick, when he missed those 3 fouls, the Cameron Tracy started to chant, fix the rim, fix the rim, fix the rim.
And that's a legitimate argument. I mean, when does he miss 3?
He's only missed in his career at Duke 1 in a game. That was the first time he missed more than 1 in a game.
37-34, Blue Devils back within 3.
Man-to-man basketball, defense great, matched up with Redick. Easy lane.
Paul goes baseline.
Nobody checked him. Nobody rotated over. That's really not Duke defense where there's no rotation, no help, no communication.
It's almost an impossible matchup for Melchione, and Williams with a great spin after he got the basketball.
You can make a case for Shelden Williams as the National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to get it, but you can make a case for him.
16.5 points a game, 11.8 rebounds.
Eric Williams gets the easy deuce inside. That's that penetration from the perimeter.
And he's saying, don't forget about the other Williams.
He said anything he can do, I can do better.
That's right. And tonight he's doing it just as well. Nelson pushed off and is called for it.
Look at his quickness on that baseline. He explodes, but where's the help? Nobody comes over. He dumps it off to the layup, and there's Williams with that layup inside. Superb quickness, penetration ability, unselfish.
Skip Prosser with the ability to go to his bench much more than Mike Krzyzewski can right now. And he's taking advantage of it.
Like we see so many great point guards everywhere I go. Aaron Miles out of Kansas, Darren Williams, Illinois.
There's Shelden Williams picking up a foul against Eric Williams. That's 2 on Shelden.
Eric getting the ball in deep. That's one of the Achilles heels of Michigan State the last 2 years. They got all the components, but they don't have a legit point guard. You put one of these guys like a Ewing or a Paul with that club, they would be special.
Well, this conference has always had great guards, but this is unreal. I mean, you go one team after another, and they are just absolutely loaded with guards.
Take a look at Mr. Childress. What a show he put on in the ACC tournament. You talk about one of my favorites, Muggsy Bogues. What an inspiration to every young kid. You tell me at 5'3", you make the NBA. If that's not inspiration.
And stay there a long time.
And be very much a factor.
43-36, a marvelous first half for the Deacons with 2:19 to go in the first half. Time now to take a look back on this date in college basketball history. Every time you see highlights from a Duke-Carolina game, it's tough to separate one from another. They're also good.
Well, I can't wait for next Wednesday. I have Kentucky, Florida on Tuesday night, and then Wednesday, Duke and North Carolina. That offensive machine leading the nation offensively, the Tar Heels.
I have to watch that one from Honolulu, but I will be watching.
Oh, I'm going to really feel sorry
I will be watching.
Oh, Honolulu, the Pro Bowl.
I'll at least use one eye. Redick. Justin Gray pushes it for Wake. Great feed, no basket, but a foul.
They're really breaking Duke down defensively with dribble penetration. People are not beating the dribbler to a spot. They're allowing them to beat people with the dribble, and it's creating openings on the inside where you got to give help, and that's a dump down for layups.
And, Dick, this is going to get to critical mass very shortly. Melchione has 3. Shelden Williams has 2. Daniel Ewing has been on the bench with 3.
That's a major loss when he got that 3rd.
And Eric Williams already with a dozen. He's just having a brilliant evening.
Think about all the Williams playing the game. And Darren Williams last night, Jawan Williams, North Carolina, Marvin the Magnificent Williams, Sean Williams, the shot blocker up at DC.
45-36. And Wake has had a magnificent first half.
A lot of that's happened with Ewing on that sideline.
Dockery gets the offensive rebound off the Redick miss.
With Ewing out of the lineup now, Redick really becomes a major factor in scoring. They're limited where they can get point production.
And Duke needs a good possession right here. Williams comes out to help. Good fake, got his counterpart in the air. DeMarcus Nelson hits the 3. Big shot.
That was a big shot. They needed somebody else to give him some point production, and he delivered the diaper dandy.
45-39. Strickland. Gray.
You want to show some patience offensively right here.
Mike Krzyzewski is asking for 13-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Dockery gets it into Williams. There's a double team. Goes the other way. Kicks it across for three out of the corner. And Wake will have a chance to get the last shot of the half. And Skip Prosser wants a timeout to tell him exactly what he wants.
They did a great job doubling up inside on Williams to get the ball out of his hands. Know what a factor he is in the post.
Let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Guys, post presence invaluable in college basketball. You don't always have it, but what you try to teach your big guys is number one, get low, get wide, get a good base. The second thing is put up a big target. Make sure you're available for Shelden Williams, for Eric Williams. Two guys, because of their experience, they have come an awfully long way. What does it translate to? Great results. There's the wide base. There's the target. On the catch, look how easy it becomes. This is against Luke Schencher. This is an easy deuce inside. I'll tell you what, Dick, these two guys, completely different players than they were as freshmen.
Doris, their coaching staff, does a great job of teaching big man moves. If you watch them in practice, work with them constantly, how to get post position, how to spread, how to get wide, how to lead the passer to your hand, just as you displayed and talked about right there.
Wake Forest trying to cap off an exceptional first half. Levy. Randolph right in his face, goes baseline into Williams. Missed. Good defense by Shavlik Randolph.
Yeah, he didn't have a good angle for that shot.
Dockery with a runner.
Good first half. A lot of intensity, a lot of emotion.
Sure was. Our score here at halftime is Wake Forest 45, Duke 39, as Duke's bench kept them in it. Now let's join Reese Davis and Jake. I'm sorry. We're going to go to Doris Burke first. Thank you.
Skip, you extended pressure. You put some pressure on them with your ability to get in transition. What were you trying to accomplish in that first half?
Well, we're just sort of playing the way we always play. You know, we always want to extend pressure and push the basketball. And you'll be a different team with Ewing back in. The foul trouble, I think, really affected him. He had to come out of the game. So, tough 20 minutes to count.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Thanks.
All right, Doris, thanks very much. The understated Skip Prosser, 45-39 at the half. Now let's join Reese Davis and Jay Billis for the UPS halftime report.
All right, Mike, Duke down 6, and perhaps most fortunate that Daniel Ewing will be able to come back in the second half. After that scrum, the officials deemed his swinging of the arm not constituting a punch. Some news and notes: Rudy Tomjanovich out as the coach of the Lakers. He resigns due to health considerations. The Sosa deal to the Orioles is finished. Sammy will now take his swings in that short porch at Camden. Still no hockey. Generalissimo Franco comes to mind. Much more on SportsCenter coming up on these stories a little later on. Much more on the night in the ACC when Jay and I continue on the UPS halftime report. When do you see how it finished in the Thriller Dome?
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. And Bassett Furniture Direct's all-new John Elway home collection. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Nike Pro Apparel.
At the half in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, it is 45-39, number 7 over number 6. You got to look at that and think Wake Forest maybe played as good as they could play in that first half. They were exceptional, yet Duke's only down by 6.
They're only down by 6. Now, I thought an amazing thing that Wake did. They only turned the ball over 3 times. And in the paint, Eric Williams was absolutely a dominant force. There he is taking the ball at Shelden at 13. Gets the layup inside on some good penetration. And then on the other side, you watch Shelden Williams operate. 2 of the sensational post players in America.
Shelden Williams, in a correction, has 1 foul instead of 2 in that first half. That could be significant. And Shelden Williams gets off in a hurry. He has 10 points after that bucket.
Well, he must have known that we were going to talk about in the paint because they didn't waste any time. See, I don't think he gets enough opportunities. He only shot the ball 5 times in the first half. Got to bring them the basketball.
There's a silly foul by Shavlik Randolph. Picks up his second, away from the ball, away from everything.
Wake only shot 2 for 8 from the 3. Duke 5 for 10, 50%. Teams have shot well against Wake in terms of a 3-point shot.
Eric Williams will pick up the foul on Shelden Williams, his second, preventing the breakaway layup.
Well, we had a little emotional outburst there in the first half. I didn't think any foul should have been called in that scenario, and I know you felt the same way.
And then Fred Bearcat told us at the half that it was not because of any physical contact that the
verbal.
Yeah, they were just jawing at each other. That's the reason they called those the double technical.
I thought you could have allowed that to go. You really could have in that situation. And I thought the technical call on hanging on the rim should have never been called.
Right. 11 points for Shelden Williams. He's hit 3 out of 4 free throws. He's been on a great roll in the last 5 games.
Oh, making such a case for Player of the Year honors. Even a factor in a name. Hakeem Warwick up at Syracuse, potential Player of the Year as well. We'll be up there Saturday with our game day crew. It'll be a lot of fun. Reese, Jay, Digger, yours truly.
Eric Williams forces it up, can't hit it. Paul got it to Gray. Justin Gray goes to the baseline, gets himself back under control. Great.
What a nice look inside.
And now Gray draws the defensive assignment on Redick as the lead's back to 4.
Certainly one of the legit contenders for Final Four this year will be Wake Forest. So many weapons.
Gray, pull-up jumper for 3 over Redick. Too strong. Not a good shot. Good defense by Redick. And Redick comes up limping. He's got to shake it off.
He better shake it off in the eyes of those coaches that do. And Ewing right now, we got to stay tuned there. 3 fouls. He can't afford number 4 early in the half.
Can you imagine Redick hitting the floor, the Duke coaching staff? I mean, their heart goes right to their throat.
Doubling up on that post when Shelden gets the ball and doubling up.
That leaves Redick open. Goodbye. You do not leave Redick open to double team anybody else. Danilou's wide open.
Danilou was such a player early in his career. Made all ACC, second team, and then had all those injuries. I tell you, Shelden Williams is learning how really to react to the double team. He is really winning me over big time. I mean, he is becoming one of America's premier guys in that paint.
Shavlik Randolph left alone because Redick drew the double team and kicked it back to him. We are seeing some great basketball right now. Paul tries a miracle shot. Williams with the follow.
He is big, strong, tough. I'll tell you, he really so physical. What are some of the halftime adjustments, Doris?
Guys, Duke feels like it must do a better job getting back in transition. They realize Wake is trying to use their superior depth to wear them down. They also got to do a better job identifying rhythms in the half court. They believe they can beat them if it goes into a half court game, guys.
Well, I'll tell you what a brilliant start, Doris, to this second half as Ewing goes in against Gray. Gray knocked out of bounds. Ewing got the rebound, got it to Williams. He lost it on the way up, and here comes Chris Paul.
Chris Paul so quick, explosive.
Paul will return. Basket counts, and the foul is going to be on Duke. It's going to be on Dockery away from the ball.
What a terrific drive with that superb quickness. I saw a quick guard, a one-man fast break last night, D. Brown. But take a look right here to change the direction. There he goes between the legs, changes, hangs, lays it on the glass. You certainly make a case. You know why you make a case for him as Player of the Year? Because he makes everybody better that's around him. People like Eric Williams become better as you look here at a comparison to the point guards. Same with Darren Williams, you can make a case. Raymond Felton. Those guys, to me, just forget about their stats. It's what they do for everybody else around them. And my other candidates would be Ike Diago, unfortunately not winning at Arizona State. Mr. Bogut down there at Utah. Garcia at Louisville. It's going to be wide open this year for National Player of the Year.
Dick, the other thing about Paul, he's almost 2.5 to 1 as far as assists to turnovers.
Great ratio. That's what impresses me with Illinois. They got a phenomenal ratio. The 3 guards having 17 assists between them.
56 to 49. Deacons back on top by 7. Redick still favoring that ankle a little bit. Shamblick Randolph is getting much stronger coming back from mono. A little late getting that pass inside. The 8th turnover against Duke. And Chris Paul.
Get a TO, baby, Coach K. Get a TO. Chris Paul, the leading SEC 3-point shooter. They're on fire, bud.
Wake Forest out to its biggest lead. Dick, Wake now up by 10.
Really playing well. We're going to watch a little double team, how they're doubling the poster. Freeze it right here. See how they're doubling up on him every time he gets the ball? But he's going to look opposite here. Going to bring the ball out. Right here comes out of the double team. Finds Redick with a long-range jumper from Charlotte. Shot that from Billis's living room. And there's the drive. And there's the... Could maybe had a little contact there. They let it go. Away from the ball, but a good drive by Chris Paul. Really playing well here tonight. Loves the spotlight.
Ewing in there with those 3 fouls, threw it away. But a holding call. Paul has scored the last 7 points for the Deacons. They're on the 12-3 run.
And what a point guard he is. Hey, Mike, I want to ask you this. You've been around the ACC so long. You love it. Hey, Grayson Marshall, remember when he played Clemson? He wrote a letter and he said, hey, Dickie B said the best point guards of this year in the ACC. Forget about it. He said, when I played, we had Kenny Smith, we had Muggsy Bogues, Keith Gatlin. We had an unbelievable crew of guys. Spud Webb. He said, we were better. You agree or disagree?
Well, I tell you, that's a pretty good case. I don't know if they were better, and I just have to wonder if you'd have to take these guys. Look at Paul. He's fouled on the way in.
And there's one other point guard they have, Mark Price.
Well, that adds to the argument, doesn't it? Wake Forest matching its biggest lead, 59-49 here tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern. 2 of the nation's top high school programs on ESPN2. Arlington Country Day against South Gwinnett. Then at 9 Eastern, ESPN2 will televise the network's first ever Division III regular season college game. Grinnell College against Beloit College. Great hoops action tomorrow night on ESPN2. And you will see that Grinnell has a very different way of substituting. They put in 5 at once. Looks like Dean Smith's ideas have been resurrected.
And you get a chance to see a great guard from out of Georgia Williams. I know Brad Nestler's all pumped up doing that. I'll see Brad Saturday down there. He's going to call that game tomorrow in a high school game.
Wake by 11.
Playing much better defensively. And that's really the difference here tonight.
Nothing easy.
Wide open 3 there.
But a 3 by Shamblick Randolph. And what a huge addition he's going to be when he gets his full strength back.
I think he's the biggest teaser in all of college basketball. I have watched him play. You see some potential, and you say, when? When is it going to break out on a consistent basis? But he's had injuries and illness problems.
Sure has. Williams, Danilous kept it alive. Yeah, he had a terrible hip injury that people didn't even know about. Had to have surgery that ruined basically his freshman and sophomore year.
The one area that Wake's got to really work hard on is really trying to lock up the perimeter on threes. Teams have been able to be very effective shooting threes.
Of course, you can't lock up anything against Redick. He's going to find a way to get open, although he missed that one. Paul back the other way, and here's a reach-in foul on Dockery. And the foul problem's really mounting for Duke. That's 3 on Dockery. Ewing has 4. Melchione has 3. And really, Mike Krzyzewski has nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go.
I'll tell you one thing. He has had an amazing career. People always question why we sing his praises. 9 ACC titles, Sweet 16, 7 straight years, 11 or more ACC games each of the last 8 regular seasons, 108 and 20 in ACC regular season play. I mean, I can go on and on, man. He's got an incredible record. The national titles, the Final Four journeys.
Gray left alone, so he'll take the 3 and bury it. Justin Gray has 14 points.
They're really playing well tonight, Wake Forest. I'm getting close. Right now I have 2 teams penciled in my Final Four, Illinois and North Carolina. I'm getting close to add a third, and the third would be the Screaming Demons.
I think when they play this way, Dick, I still believe this is the best team in the country.
Well, you know, another threat, I think, for the Final Four is going to be a team I'm going to see Saturday, Syracuse, with that 2-3 zone, and Akeem Warwick, certainly one of the real threats for National Player of the Year honors.
Wake Forest shooting 57% tonight. They have turned the ball over only 4 times. They thought they had a charge right there as Vitas Danilus tried to draw it, but picked up his 3rd personal instead.
Rotated over too late after the double team, and there's the score inside. We took a little look at that Duke coaching staff. You look at Johnny Dawkins, talking to him before the game. You talk about class. I mean, he defines that word, C-L-A-S-S. We just wanted to class these guys who worked with a lot of head jobs and really loves Duke. He's waiting for the right opportunity.
Likes what he's doing right there.
They got 2 other young guys that are going to be definite head coaches. Collins and certainly Wojciechowski. There's no doubt in my mind. Have passion. They have spirit and passion for the game.
You talked about people questioning us if we praise Mike Krzyzewski. Well, we would then question their sanity.
Well, we get that all the time. You know, Mike, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Williams blocked by Randolph and Williams, and Melchione came over for the triple team. Duke trying to put a good test against Wake Forest tonight because they always play defense.
There's the defensive rotation. Duke, one of the leaders in block shots. Number 1 is Connecticut.
The 3rd in the country.
Yeah, Connecticut's number 1. Problem with Connecticut, basically, is a very average backcourt.
Downey. Williams with a foul, won't go.
Connecticut spoiled people. Jim Calhoun, one of those great backcourts he's had over the years.
13:32 to go in the ball game. 63-54. Loose ball picked up by Dockery. Melchione for 3 and a couple of big ones in the first half. Melchione now has 9, and here come the Blue Devils again.
And that's what they need out of him. Make that 3 from the wing. Give him another weapon to stretch the defense.
And Gray goes down, tried the scoop shot, holding his left leg. Uh-oh. Boy, you just hope Justin gets up with all the injury problems he had.
He's a great kid, too. You get a chance talking to him. Really classy kid. In fact, Skip said one of the things he loves the most about coaching here, he's like, I got beautiful kids. Really kids that just are devoted to representing the school in a positive way.
Gets up, walking off. When he was a freshman, he suffered a broken jaw against Duke, had his jaw wired shut, was out a month, lost 19 pounds, came back the first game against Duke, got hit in that broken jaw, scored 18 points.
He never lost a stroke, though, did he?
No.
Once a shooter,
tough.
Once a shooter, always a shooter.
Williams was pushed as they double-teamed it. That's going to be on Shavlik Randolph. That's 3 on him.
That's his 3rd, 13th foul.
Now Dockery stepped on somebody's shoe and twisted his ankle. He comes up limping.
He actually stepped on Ellis's shoe.
And they get it to Paul. Paul goes toward the baseline. Fouled by Dockery. That's 4 on Dockery. So Dockery has 4. Ewing has 4. Shavlik Randolph has 3.
Dockery trying to beat him to his spot, really working hard defensively. He's a solid defensive player because he gets a great base, really has good feel. He distributes his weight properly.
Ewing's going to come back in, so you trade one guy who has 4 fouls for another guy with 4 fouls. And Duke is just in a situation where they are in a load of trouble if they lose anybody.
Because of their depth factor, losing McClure certainly hurts a little bit because it gives them some positive minutes.
The report on Justin Gray is cramps. That's good news for Wake Forest, and he is expected to return.
Showed a lot more patience in their half-court offense.
Levy, nice lob inside to Ellis, who rolled off Redick.
They did a great job. Patience, poise, let the points. The 3 Ps. Good execution, offensive efficiency. Last night, Illinois, ready for this? 12 possessions in a row scored.
Skip Prosser has told his kids, this can be a magical year. Enjoy the moment.
I think he earned that down in the post. Every time he touches the ball, he is being doubled up in that post. Skip Prosser could be 19-1 with a little bit of luck. Look at the double up. I mean, they're all over him in that post. He's going to try to split the double team.
He's very fortunate he got out of there. Levy picks up the foul. Williams will go to the free throw line. 14 points tonight.
The big 3 has been so effective for Duke. Redick and Shelden and Ewing, between them, averaging 56 points a game.
If this lead holds at 65-57, Duke would lose its second game in the ACC. They would be tied with Wake. And North Carolina, who we'll see tomorrow night against North Carolina State, would be the only one left with a single loss.
And Duke's got
short on that one.
Duke's got some tough games. I mean, they got Georgia Tech.
Oh, that tough.
They got North Carolina coming up. Certainly Maryland again at Maryland. We'll have them on Saturday night. Game day will not ever be easy.
Paul for 3. Got it!
I think he flat out check it to 2. And 2 was a deuce there. He's the leader in the ACC, though, making threes percentage-wise. Doesn't shoot it enough. You're right, Mike.
No, he does.
Very patient. Same with the kid Miles up in Kansas.
Redick, good drive. Goes to the left hand. Can't hit the shot. Shelden Williams somehow kept it alive. Put it back up, and Eric Williams knocked it out of bounds. Boy, Eric Williams is playing some exceptional defense because he's not reaching in and committing silly fouls.
Take a look right here. Is he behind the line? Is he behind the line? Hey, he looks behind the line. That should be a 3. They missed that. I got one eye, but that's a 3.
That last shot by Chris Paul was ruled a 3 after they initially ruled it a 2, and you can see on the replay that he is clearly behind the line, so the 3-point shot makes it 68-57.
That's a good bit of efficiency. You're allowed to utilize the monitor to determine whether it is a 2 or 3. And they went to the monitor during that dead ball situation and came out with the right call.
Duke is hitting 9 out of 15 from 3-point range. That is what is keeping them in this ball game. Although right now, down by 11, every possession becomes huge. And DeMarcus Nelson with a baseline drive double team. Exceptional defense by Wake. They've done it all night.
Kyle Visser rotated over, gave a lot of help to close off that driving angle. This is the part that's impressed me, the way they've executed on a half-court game.
Paul got the drive, tries to dish it inside, knocked away out of bounds, out to Wake.
You think about this conference, the scores that come in here, wacky. I mean, it's tough to figure out what's happening. Seth Greenberg doing one heck of a job, and Virginia Tech had to win tonight over Miami, Frank Hayes. I mean, these teams, you can't count on an automatic W.
No, everybody has talent, and if you don't pay attention, I mean, we saw Clemson against Maryland. If you don't pay attention and take care of business, you're going to lose. More college basketball action tomorrow night on ESPN. At 7 Eastern, the Wolfpack of NC State against the North Carolina Tar Heels. That great in-state rivalry. Throwdown Thursday on ESPN. That last foul was on Shelden Williams. Only his second. So with all the foul problems people have had, Shelden Williams doing what he's done all year and staying out of trouble.
Yeah, that was really a dilemma for him early in his career, getting into foul trouble. Same thing that used to happen to James Augustine up in Illinois, who's so important to their post play.
Mike Krzyzewski says the difference, he doesn't commit fouls on somebody else's plane. He just stays straight up and down and blocks shots that way.
Principle of verticality.
Well, that's what you coaches call it.
Sounds good. Sounds impressive. Hey, come on. I'm going to let you off the hook. What point guard, you always put me on a hook,
okay.
What group would you take? Now, here's the group. I'm going to give you the group again. We know this currently. Felton, Paul, Gilchrist, Jack, and the whole gang. Well, back there in the mid-'80s, we got Muggsy Bogues, Keith Gatlin, Kenny Smith. You certainly have Mark Price. You got Spud Webb. What group do you take? Grayson Marshall?
Oh, jeez.
I know Grayson wrote the letter. He wrote the letter and sent it to the newspapers. I read his name. But I'm telling you, I'm sorry, Grayson, I'm taking this group.
Redick with a miss.
I love Kenny Smith, though, but I'm tempting this group.
Oh, man, that's an awful choice. I tell you what, you put me on the spot, I'm not making the choice. I'm not going to do it. But you put Mark Price in any group, and I may have to take that.
He was terrific. What a great shooter.
Paul
Duke's got to
gets a
get
screen from Visser.
They got to get some stops on the defensive side.
Lost it on the way up.
Wake also doing a great job defensively in transition. Very few fast break opportunities by Duke.
Redick won't go on the three. Strickland with a rebound.
He hasn't had many open looks. He's had really tough looks.
He is the leading scorer in the ACC, averaging 22 points a game.
Ewing's got to start looking for his shot.
Great drive by Redick.
A terrific drive. First time I heard about this kid was Howard Garfinkel. Told me when he was a sophomore in high school he was going to be special.
Teron Downey with an outstanding drive and tried to reverse and couldn't hit it. And J.J. Redick has become a complete player. And that's a blocking foul on Strickland.
And he creates the opportunity to go to the free throw line. What he's done, he's certainly an All-American candidate because he has added the driving game. Another great shooter is Salim Stoudemire down in Arizona.
I mean, you just said an All-American candidate. I don't know how you can take a guy that is averaging 22 points in the ACC, maybe the best long-range shooter that ever lived, is the best free throw shooter that ever lived, and is under pressure to lead this team and not say he is already an All-American.
And he's also,
I mean, you picked some of the teams.
But the thing is this, Mike, there are so many great guards this year in college basketball. That's the only thing that would hurt him. I would agree with you. J.J. Redick is certainly a guy you can factor in with Shelden Williams as a national candidate for Player of the Year. But what happens when you have so many key players like McCants, May, and you have Felton, you get lost in the shuffle. Right. Not everybody can be a national Player of the Year.
Well, how do you want the responsibility to pick the ACC team this year? Pick the backcourt here. Forget it.
Very tough.
68-61. Duke still hanging around.
Well, I know J.J. Redick would be my second guard, that's for sure. I don't know who the point guard would be because they're all great.
Danilus got the rebound along with Shavlik Randolph. Jump ball situation, possession arrow, gives it back to Wake. 9:20 to go. Mike Patrick, Dick Vitale, Doris Burke, our entire ESPN crew. Glad you could join us on a Wednesday night in the ACC. Number 6 against number 7.
They split last year. Wake winning here. Eric Williams had a big game. They lost at Duke. Eric Williams struggled in that game.
Wake has won 2 in a row here. Gray with a long 3. Shavlik Randolph with a rebound, and the foul may be on Randolph. And it is. That's 4 on Shavlik Randolph. So 3 Duke players with 4 personal fouls. And if you didn't already know it, David McClure, the freshman who had significant minutes for Duke, is out for the next 2 weeks. He had knee surgery. Reggie Love already out. There's just no place to go for Mike Krzyzewski.
You know, how good have they been? Think about this. They've had 9 first-round draft picks over the last 6 years with Dang and Dante Jones and Jay Williams and Dunleavy and Battier, Elton Brand, Langdon, McGetty, and Avery. I mean, think about all those guys. He's had 18 players since he's been at Duke taken in the first round.
Well, you know you've got lack of depth. You've got to try to prepare for it. Doris, how did they go about it?
Well, in Shelden Williams' words, they might as well have been a track team this summer. These guys met every morning at 6 a.m. and ran and ran and ran. J.J. Redick, in fact, guys, didn't do much shooting. Lost a lot of weight, got the best conditioning. And think about this, he's averaging 36.2 minutes. It may have been his most important summer this past year, guys.
You know, everybody was telling me today, Doris, watch out for fatigue. The Duke players play so many minutes. When you talk about Redick and you talk about Ewing and you talk certainly Shelden Williams, they play like about 37 minutes a game versus Wake Forest has only 2 players playing 30 minutes a game, and that's certainly Paul and Gray. I don't buy that at all. These kids are in such great shape and such great condition that they have their minds and bodies ready to perform.
Redick with that rare miss. The other thing is, Dick, they cut down on their time in practice trying not to wear them out, and they tell them take care of yourself during the week because you've got games to play.
I agree with that. And these are 19, 20-year-old guys who play like all day on the playground.
Yeah, it's not like us going out and running up and down for 10 minutes.
I'm 65. I try to act 12, but I'm young at heart. Francis Albert Sinatra's favorite song.
8:29 to go in the ball game.
Duke's got to get a spurt going here somehow if they're going to come down the stretch with a chance to win. And if they're going to get it, they got to get stops defensively.
Paul tried to find
Good help, good step out, good hedge, but you got to rotate back.
Danilus wide open.
Nobody rotated back. Nobody rotated back. Gave help. Danilus with a big three. The Screaming Demons love it. What a beautiful campus they have out here as well.
And a lot of the kids on campus have tried to nickname Danilus the Gray Wolf, and the Gray Wolf snarled on that one.
4-to-1 ratio in terms of second chance points. There's the ball in the open court. I know Tom O'Toole right now from USA Today, a writer at Joker Ray. He went to White. He's jumping with joy. His daughter's in the crowd jumping with joy.
And this is the biggest lead of the night with 7:46 to go in the game. Wake Forest has run it out to a 14-point lead. And this is just the beginning of a rivalry week in college basketball.
Rivalry. Sports' ultimate dividing line. Through tears and triumphs, rivalries reveal it all. Don't be left on the fence.
They are going nuts at Lawrence Joel Coliseum in Winston-Salem. 14,665, and anybody else that could sneak in.
And that's the best rivalry of them all. You name any sport, I'm telling you on a collegiate level, Duke and North Carolina is uno #1.
Melchione with the left hand. Melchione has 8. Check it, 11. Williams back the other way, got his own rebound, and it's fouled.
Duke really having a tough time stopping him.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Staples. That was easy. And TD Waterhouse, the alternative to higher-priced brokers.
Wake Forest showing people just how good they can be right now. They're up 75-63. Let's take a look at our Nike game track. And it's bad news for Duke because Daniel Ewing is on there as having just fouled out of the ball game. Dockery and Randolph also have 4. Melchione has 3. It looks bleak.
He reaches in. Got to know better. You got 4 fouls, too valuable to this team.
I thought Williams got the foul and not him.
That was called on Ewing. You know, Wake Forest last year got beaten in Sweet 16. They beat VCU, they beat Manhattan, and they got beat by St. Joe's, who ran the table, went undefeated for the regular season. In fact, there have been 3 teams since Indiana ran the table and went undefeated. 3 teams went undefeated at St. Joe's, Indiana State, were 2 of them. And I'll tell you this, there have been only 13 teams that were 20-0 since Indiana went undefeated.
7-14 and counting. Duke needs a run, and this is not necessarily a team that will give you a run anymore.
Oh, when you got guys like this on the floor.
The lob to Strickland, couldn't make the catch.
Great pass, great steal by Paul.
Dockery on the way back. Offensive rebound to Melchione. Paul reached in, knocked it away. Ahead to Strickland. Redick got back and forced him to miss the shot. J.J. Redick couldn't stop the break, but at least he got in the way. Foul was on Melchione. That's his 4th. Now everybody but Mike Krzyzewski is going to have 4 here in a second.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski, you think about all those national players of the year he's had, including Johnny Dawkins. I mean, I think of the greatness. You think about the stars that have wore that uniform.
Gray hits the free throw. He's number 10 in the ACC in free throw shooting.
I mentioned earlier about 3 unbeaten teams other than Indiana, who ran the entire table in the tournament, 3 to run the regular season, with the one that Duke beat in the semifinals, UNLV.
UNLV,
yeah,
the impossible win.
St. Joe's and Indiana State, kid from French Lick, Indiana. The only #1 Michigan State has ever beaten.
I remember how here's a reach-in steal. Paul again. Nelson got it back. Dockery, nice feed to Williams. I remember before that game, Dick, people said, well, there's no way Duke can beat UNLV, and I believed them. I think everybody in the country believed him except the people at Duke.
Well, Bob Hurley made a big shot. The reason people felt that way, that was a terrific team Jerry Tarkanian had defensively and offensively, and they beat Duke by 30 the year before.
Take a look at Sports Center coming up. Sammy Sosa speaks out. Why did Rudy Tomjanovich quit in Los Angeles? And we'll take a look at the top 10 plays on Wednesday. Fred Hickman and Steve Levy standing by for Sports Center. Dick, let's go back to this game. 77-65. The lead here is 12. My contention is that when Wake Forest has that core group and the coaching, they play defense the way they did tonight, and they rebound the way they did tonight, they can win it all.
Well, I'm ready to chart them in as my 3rd team for the Final Four. I really am. Right now, I have Illinois and North Carolina. As long as they stay away from injuries, those 2 teams, to me, I feel will be able to get to the Final Four.
Danilus knew he missed it as soon as he let it go. Duke missing a big weapon here. Ewing, one of their great outside shooters, fouled out of the ball game.
That's a big loss. He's such a steady player, really solid offensively and defensively.
Melchione trying to drive on Danilus and will draw the foul on Danilus. That's 4th on the senior from Lithuania.
You know, one thing about Ewing, he's now really, as you look at Mr. Plaza, a true point guard. He's playing with a point guard's mentality, but he's a combination guard. These are guys, a 2 guard and a point guard, but they really miss him. And they seen him sitting on that sideline, and it's tough for Dukies.
If Wake Forest goes on to win this game, it will be a 250th career victory that Skip Prosser will remember for a long, long time, knocking off number 6 here at home.
Think about those Dukes I mentioned earlier, National Players of the Year: Johnny Dawkins, Danny Ferry, Christian Laettner, Elton Brand, Jason Williams, and Shane Battier. What about Mr. Tim Duncan? He was special here.
Yes, he was.
Great player now, certainly one of the top 5 in the NBA.
Paul goes baseline, little double clutch, can't hit it. The foul followed by Williams. Williams again.
Duke's got to get a big 3 somewhere here. They got to look for a big 3. J.J. Redick's a guy, but they're right up in his face. Not going to give him any open looks.
Gray trying to stay with him, and Redick showing more speed than anybody thinks he has, went right by him, and Gray is cramping up again. That's one of the reasons that Redick was able to go by him.
The 3-point shot certainly has made him a threat for his driving ability, and he's worked on that area of the game, putting the ball to the floor and attacking the basket.
77-69 with 5 minutes and 14 seconds to go. And as well as Wake Forest has played in this game, and as much foul trouble as Duke has been in, here are the Blue Devils only 8 points down, and with Redick's three-point ability, 8 points is nothing.
Yeah, they can certainly get back really quick. You know, everybody was concerned early. We're hearing rumors, Coach K with the Lakers. Forget about the Lakers. He told me today, no shot, no chance. He's perfectly happy. It's a non-story. So don't even bring it up. And Jim Calhoun, I can't see that. He's a New Englander. Now, maybe if the Celtics job was open, but Doc Rivers is going nowhere, he belongs at Connecticut.
What's the salary? You and I'll take it together. I'll carry your bag.
I'll be your chauffeur.
All right.
I'll be your chauffeur. Coach K is in a perfect place where he fits the puzzle.
Steal by Williams. Paul got it back.
Big break right there by Wake Forest.
And great hustle by Paul.
Could have cut it down to 6.
The biggest lead was 14. Wake has missed its last 7 shots. Oh, you know Skip Prosser wants to get it into Williams and get a good look.
Shelden really doing a great job of post defense, trying to beat him to the spot.
Shot clock at 10. Gray forced that shot a little bit.
Could get a foul.
That's going to be a foul on Eric Williams.
Yeah, could get a foul right there, and they did on Eric.
That's his third. And anytime the clock stops right now, it's good for Duke.
Especially go to that free throw line and convert on that line. Mike Krzyzewski egging him on in terms of intensity and emotion right now. A lot of time on the clock.
Dockery goes to the line. Well, he has really improved all of his numbers, shooting 70% from the free throw line this year, and he came in as a 57% career free throw shooter. I mean, all of his numbers are up.
Well, they work with him constantly. I mean, it's constant teaching. If you ever go to a Duke practice, or go to most of these guys, I mean, they're all teachers. You go down to Gary Williams, you go to Skip Prosser. People have no idea what takes place on a practice situation.
Doris, what did you see at practice yesterday with Wake?
Well, guys, Skip Prosser, he said yesterday there's a point where they were getting sloppy. He said, listen, we're playing Duke. In order to play correctly, you've got to prepare correctly. They need to be careful here, guys, and play correctly now. This is a tight lead.
Yeah, the right people have to shoot the basketball.
Downey for 3. Got the roll.
That's a big three. You talk about getting some relief. Comes off the bench. It's a big trifecta.
We have 80-71. The scoreboard here in the stadium only says 79-71.
Did they ever
Convinced that was a 3.
Did they ever change the one when
now they
was
changed.
a 2 to a 3?
Yes, they did. And now they have changed the in-house scoreboard to 80-71. See who picked up that last foul. It was on Justin Gray. That's his 3rd.
And not a good foul because you got automatic at the free throw line. Career leader in free throws, 93.2, 93.7 for a career, 93.2 this year.
The best that ever played as a free throw shooter is J.J. Redick. He's hit 7 out of 8 tonight, which, hard to believe, is below his average.
You are right, Mike. I like the strong case you made for J.J. as an All-American, because most people, when they talk All-American, for some reason, his name does not get into the mix and into the flow. But his numbers and what he's done to improve his driving game, you can make a great case for him as a first-team All-American.
And he's become a much better defender. 80-73.
Need a defense player. Got to get some help on the basketball. You got to go inside to Williams a little more. He's wide open in that last situation.
Levy, nice fake. Got Williams in the air. Missed the shot. Strickland tip. Williams follow. Blocked by Williams.
The landlord comes up with the block shot on his buddy Eric.
This would be an unlikely and remarkable comeback if they can pull it off. Duke down by 7. Redick, a long
That's a bad shot. That is really a bad shot. I mean, I know it goes in. We say, wow, his range.
There's the lob. Downey to Strickland. Williams could have had it as well.
That's a big turnaround. You got to be able to, with 3 minutes on the clock, get good shots. I know JJ's got the license to shoot it from anywhere he wants, but he's got to understand time, score, and situations.
The other thing he's trying to do, he knows so much responsibility is on his back. There's Downey, the lob, had his choice. Strickland got there first.
That's high percentage. That's shot selection. Play above the rim. Strickland is so positive for them off the bench. He and Downey. He gets a play out of Visser. That's going to be another big plus for him. And Ellis. I'm getting close. I got 2 for the Final Four. Will it be Wake in my mind? It's getting close.
All right, let me ask you this. Not just the teams that are playing. Who is the most talented team you've seen?
North Carolina. Don't even hesitate.
Me too. Me too.
North Carolina, the most talented. Because of their depth, because of their bench. I love Marvin Williams off the bench. I gave them the slightest edge, and I mean the slightest, over Illinois. Oh, look at this little one here cheering. Hey, she's having a blast. College basketball, baby. It's the greatest.
Tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern, 2 of the nation's top high school programs will appear on ESPN2. Arlington Country Day takes on South Gwinnett. New names to watch: Lewis Williams and Mike Mercer, backcourt buddies at South Gwinnett. Both have committed to the University of Georgia. Then at 9 Eastern, ESPN2 will televise our first ever Division III regular season game, Grinnell College against Beloit. Great hoops action tomorrow night on ESPN2. 2:55 to go in this game.
That 3 by Daddy was so big.
Nelson with the left hand.
Nice 2-man game. Nelson attacking the basket with the conversion.
82-75.
Face guarding, making it tough to get the ball. Got to try to keep the ball out of Paul's hands.
Daniel Ewing has already fouled out for Duke. Paul got by Nelson, cut off the baseline and scored.
He is so tough with the basketball. Breaks you down one-on-one.
21 for Chris Paul. Redick for 3. Holy cow, what range. 25 for Redick.
He does have big-time range. Reminiscent of years ago, Rick Mount at Purdue.
Yeah.
You were too young to remember that.
No, I remember.
Wide open here.
Levy, good fake, got in the air, drew contact, and got the bucket.
Wide open guys trying to strap back in the game. You can't get back if you don't defend. You got to defend. You don't defend, you don't win. You got to defend.
Some ACC storylines from Wednesday. Georgia Tech's Will Bynum hits the gamer against Florida State. Donnie McGrath of Providence making the ACC storylines by hitting all 9 of his 3-point attempts by beating Virginia. Virginia Tech does it to the Canes in Miami, just like they did in football, guys.
Wow, 9 3-pointers he made. Wow.
Reese, thanks very much. We have 1:58 to go here. Levy at the free throw line. What a night for the backcourt of Wake Forest. Chris Paul, 21.6 assists, 5 steals. Gray has 16 points. He's hit 6 out of 12 field goals. And Dockery knocks that one down. It's a 3, and it's 86-81. The Blue Devils refuse to go away.
Dockery really has improved that shot. Really had no chance to go in when he's a freshman. You got to give the kid credit with the work he's done to improve that. See, right now you're Wake. You want to take some time off the clock. You want a high percentage shot. It's great when you got an All-American like this with the rock in his hands. 2-man
Working
game
on the freshman Nelson. Paul, short. Redick couldn't get the rebound, but a very smart play. Tipped it away to Dockery. Back to Redick. For 3.
What a big-time 3. What a shooter. What
You can never count him out, ever.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's no such thing as a bad shot for him.
He has 28 points, and boy, you knew that was coming.
What a big-time three.
He was going to shoot this baby no matter what.
And off his dribble. They know he's going to shoot it, too. They try to rotate out on him a little bit too late. Nothing but nylon. That's one of America's great shooters of all time. Of all time. When he came to Duke, Mr. Garfinkel said to me from 5-star, he will be the greatest shooter that Duke has ever had. And Mr. Garfinkel, you may be right.
Shooting the Rock, presented by Rock Green Light.
He's got the green light. I'll tell you from anywhere he was. He can shoot it from our studio in Bristol.
48% from the floor. Wake shooting 47%. And now here's the situation. If you're Wake Forest, you have this comfortable lead a minute ago. Now, if you don't score on this possession,
Duke has a shot.
Duke's got a chance to tie it with a 2, win it with a 3. You got to be kidding.
See, Mike, that's the only thing that holds me back about Wake being my Final Four choice. Because they give up so many points. They give up points to everyone.
Right.
I mean, big-time points. You cannot win 6 in a row in the tournament unless you have a defensive presence and a defensive sense of pride. And they have not established that yet.
But you know what? They have shown it tonight, except for this last couple of minutes. And sometimes you just can't stop Redick.
You're right about that. That one there was impossible to stop.
Duke is hit 12 of 21 from long range. Now the biggest possession of the ACC season for Wake Forest.
Unbeaten right now at home, Wake.
Paul got away, goes baseline, missed his shot. Wake has the ball. With a follow, the lead goes to 4.
Eric Williams comes over and nobody blocks out. They got to give help on Paul. And he gets the open offensive rebound. You think he wants to take a shot?
Redick, how smart is that? He knows it's a 2-possession game, so he takes it inside where he had some room to operate. And J.J. Redick has 30 points, and he has been brilliant down the stretch.
And his stock is going up, and up. It is going up, and up. Fun to watch. Watch him now. He's going to change direction as the front change. Taking the ball strong, the reverse, laying it on the glass. He is smooth. He is silky smooth.
Now Paul will go to the line. He missed 2 big free throws against Georgia Tech that allowed them to lose that game on the road.
That shocked me. I watched that.
Shocked him, too.
Yeah, shocked everybody in the place.
I mean, he's a great free throw shooter, over 83%. This makes it a still 1-possession game. He can make it 2 with this one, and does.
Shoots well at home.
Melchioni, they've got a 2-on-1. He'll give it up to Dockery. They won't find Redick, and that was not in rhythm. Randolph got the rebound, kicks it out to Melchioni. He tries to 3.
Third opportunity.
Redick, a desperation 3, and he hits it. The lead is 1 to reach in foul with 2.2 seconds to go. J.J. Redick has just established he has hit a season high and tied his career high.
I'll tell you what I like about him, Mike. His competitive drive. It's not only his range as a shooter. He has really got a fierce competitive sense of pride and a drive to want to excel. What a great performance he has put on here tonight. But it may not be good enough to offset Wake. But here's another example of Wake involved in a track meet and winning one of these high-scoring kind of games. And I'll tell you this, Skip even admitted, he said, I told my guys, we got to play defense if we're going to win a national championship.
Correct me if I'm wrong, John. That's 33 points for Redick. That's 1 off of his career high. But just an absolutely brilliant performance.
Absolutely sensational. He has really done all he can possibly do to keep them in a game. Anybody who doesn't think this guy's going to be a heck of a player at the next level, forget about it. Put him with the right people. There's no substitute for guys that can shoot the basketball the way he can.
And Teron Downey will go to the free throw line with a chance to ice it. He has not been to the line tonight. He's a very good free throw shooter, 87%. Called by Skip Prosser, one of the most selfless players he's ever coached. That makes it a 3-point lead. check it. That makes it 2 at 91-89. 7 points for Downer.
Remember, the clock doesn't start until the ball is touched in bounds. Florida State missed that big one, gave that sign, which is not really representative of what he's about. He's a classy kid.
Right.
They had made 50 in a row. He made that free throw. They got to win.
If he makes this one, you might see 5 guys on Redick.
Clock doesn't start until the ball is touched.
Here's Redick.
Look at that range.
Well, you know, they held their breath because he actually had a chance.
We did too. What a great college basketball game. Terrific college basketball game, and Wake Forest gets a big win, 3rd year in a row beating Duke on this floor. Life for the ACC, the best conference in college basketball in America in terms of depth.
Tremendous game, 92-89. Wake Forest wins it. They and Duke are tied for 2nd in the ACC behind North Carolina. 92-89 is the final. Sports Center is next. For Dick Vitale and Doris Burke, this is Mike Patrick. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night, everybody.